So, hello everybody. I just got off a YouTube live with Richard Rudd and Matthew Ashdown, where we introduced the new and super exciting DreamArc Profiler, where people can find out what their purpose animal is. So please check it out. If you haven't heard about it yet, you're going to find it on the Gene Keys YouTube channel. And since I'm on a roll, I'm on by my computer, I thought I would just keep going and pop on real quick to share just a little bit before the DreamArc Initiation Retreat registration doors close. Matthew and I were actually supposed to do a live Insta earlier this week, but we had technological tricksters, so we were not able to. So I thought, hey, I'll just do something myself, and hopefully Matthew will do that too. Now, for those of you who maybe did the first DreamArc Initiation Retreat, or you didn't, but you're just kind of wondering how this retreat compares to the one we did last year, this is what I can say. Some things will be the same, and that there will be the same, like banks to the river. We're all going to be moving through an initiation, right? So we're going to be setting up a LifeWeb altar, a journal, or some kind of a space for our DreamArc journey. We're going to be all calling in a portal creature and a guardian out of the 12 guardians, and we're all going to be initiating our journey with a ritual. Okay, so those things will be the same. But I can tell you from personal experience as somebody who's been through the DreamArc initiation twice, this is about to be my third time, same with Richard, that just because the banks to the river are the same, the river itself is completely different every time I step into it. And that's because my life, right, both my inner life and my outer life is different. And I can already sense that I'm going to be working with a new portal creature this time. For those of you who don't know, there are 3 portal creatures. We've got the woodpecker that opens us up to the upper worlds where we pull in the visions, we call in the visions. We've got the camel, which represents resilience, and this is connected to the middle world where we access our gifts and we manifest them in the world. And then we have the praying mantis that opens up to the lower world, right? And that has to do with ritual, right? So we've got ritual for the praying mantis, resilience for the camel, and rhythm, connecting us with the rhythm of our heartbeat, the rhythm of Gaia through the woodpecker. And then, of course, this time we will have Matthew Ashdown, who will be hosting with me and Richard, which is going to be wonderful. He lives and breathes the DreamArc, and he's also very, very connected to the community. He's always listening to participants, what they're experiencing, what they're needing, what they're wanting, what they're excited to share. So, yeah, I'm really excited that we have Matthew with us. And then, of course, there's a dragon in the river, right? Which also means that we're going to be inviting several of the DreamArc's guest wisdom keepers to join us, like Grandmother Flor de Mayo and Sasa and Wolf Martinez of the Lakota tradition. And we just learned that Shannon Lee, the daughter of Bruce Lee and the author of Be Water, My Friend, and a new book coming out about dragons, which we will be announcing at some point. And all of them are going to join us in one way or another to share their dragon-inspired transmissions and blessings, what we're calling dragon bites. And the reason why we've been talking about the dragon, I don't know if I even mentioned this, I think we've mentioned it in so many different contexts that I don't think I mentioned it here, that every time we do a retreat, and this is really just our second, we call in an animal that's kind of like the overseer or the sovereign for the retreat, and we weave in the themes, the lessons, and the teachings from that animal into the entire retreat experience. So the first initiation retreat was overseen, I guess you could say, by the skylark, the bird. And this time, as we are in the year of the dragon, we're going to be working with the dragon. So speaking of the dragon, the guardians of all the guardians, I tell you, over the past week, or ever since the day we actually called in the DreamArc Dragon on YouTube, and that's another thing you might want to check out. That was a really fun event that we did with Richard. I have been bumping into so many dragons, I have lost count, right? I went to a music concert the night of the live event, and then after that concert, I really just needed some alone time, so I walked deep into their very, very big forest-like backyard, really far away from everybody else, and then all of a sudden, I found this huge red dragon sculpture. It was amazing. Then I was invited by a friend who had a birthday to a magical place that I love in New Mexico called Star Dreaming, that was built by a visionary artist and a total intergalactic character, I will tell you, named James Jareb. And he's also a contributor for the Dream Arc. And I was actually expecting to walk some labyrinths and spend some time in nature and enjoy his beautiful artwork, which is often full of symbols and elephants, a lot of Merlin and imagery and Ganesh. But as soon as I arrived, I found that for the past year, he's been completely immersed in the creation of 22 enormous dragon paintings, each with their own name. And he's been grounding their energies all over the land with these stones with their names on it, placed throughout like 22 acres. And I actually brought a couple of postcards of his paintings home with me. Maybe I'm not going to do this live, so I can do a little illustrating. I'll do a little editing here. Okay, so check this out. Also, I ordered 2 gifts for myself from Grandmother Flor de Mayo's Love and Light store. This is just something that we really encourage people to do when an animal is just coming into your awareness. And that's finding a way to invite the animal in even deeper. And it can be through journaling. It can be through poetry. It can be through purchasing something or finding a sacred object out in nature. Something that holds the essence of that being, or watching a movie about that being, or listening to a song about them. You know, it's mostly about noticing with an open mind and an open heart. So even if you're not really feeling dragon energy so much, that's fine. In the coming days, we encourage you to start noticing which animals are showing up in your life, right? Maybe in your dreams. And you invite them in more intentionally than usual into your unconscious and ask them to guide you in directions that you might not normally go, and see what happens. You know, who knows? They might guide you to join the Dream Arc retreat, which is starting on Monday. And then what did I want to say? Oh, yeah. So, like, for example, my daughter, because she just turned 21, wanted to give herself a gift that would stretch her. So she bought herself a gift. She's living in Denmark right now. So she bought herself a 5-day trip to Croatia. And it was like a total Dream Arc adventure. Like, even in the airport on her way there, she discovered this tiny, tiny little snail that she was bringing with her totally unintentionally. Then when she was there, she accidentally stepped on a sea urchin. And then she ran into a peacock. And then she found all of these cats all over the city. And so she really was exploring the Dream Arc and all these animals and looking at her journey from a more mythical perspective, or symbolic, or archetypal perspective. And we really encourage you to do that. So it's like a way to bring more magic into your life and more meaning. So if you're thinking of joining the Dream Arc retreat, or maybe you've already signed up, we really encourage you to consider inviting a friend or a group of friends or family or community members or even colleagues to join you. This is my experience. The Dream Arc is so wonderful to experience together with the people around you, and some people get together in small affinity groups online if they don't live close by, and others, get groups together where they actually live, and then they're able to experience many of the fun experiential invitations together in person, whether they take a hike or they share a meal or they walk a labyrinth or go to a place like Star Dreaming or have a ceremony together. It can really enrich the experience. Okay, so in terms of registration, we really recommend that you register by the 14th, even though it technically starts on the 15th. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying do it by the 14th, because when the doors close, they really close. And it is such a bummer when people come too late and aren't able to come in. Another thing I want to share, which is that you do not have to participate in a retreat or do the self-study version of the Dream Arc online course at all in order to engage in the Dream Arc. Really, it's a way of life, a deep and playful way of connecting to yourself, to nature, to the people and living beings around you, to the wisdom of your surroundings that's speaking to you all of the time. And there is so much, free Dream Arc stuff out there. We've got a Dream Arc YouTube channel, so much on Instagram, and we have a newsletter called The Gazelle that you can sign up for free, and it's full of resources and beauty and gives you a real feeling for what the Dream Arc is about. Lots of rich content for you. But if you do feel drawn to the Dream Arc as a guided adventure, then I do want to say I'm not exactly sure when we're going to do another initiation retreat. It might be a while. I just talked to Richard about this. And people who go through the retreat initiation do tend to feel very supported and connected and motivated to keep the Dream Arc spirit alive in their everyday lives, right, once the retreat is over. Because the retreat kind of, it gives you a lay of the land. It gets you the support that you need from your guardian and your portal creature. You got your life web going. You initiate it with a ritual. But that's actually when the whole Dream Arc adventure begins, right? Because there are 12 different quests that the Dream Arc is made of. There's the Leaper's quest, there's the Healer's quest, there's the Journeyers, the Hunters, the Warriors, the Laughers, the Messengers, the Dreamers. It goes on and on. And then at the end we find our kin, like that one animal, that one being who's meant to be our familiar for life, really. So it's a big landscape. So the initiation gets you in there so that the rest just kind of happens really easily and intuitively, and it just, hums in the background of your life and enriches your life. It just adds an element of playfulness and adventure and helps you also cope with some really big inner changes, life changes, and collective changes that we're all feeling right now. And I can tell you just personally, for those of you who've been around and been watching me share quite transparently about my personal life, the Dream Arc has helped me profoundly during a time of tremendous change and grief. So I can speak from personal experience, and I did. During the last retreat, I spoke from a lot of personal experience. Maybe a little TMI for some people, but it was very healing for me. Anyway, if you've been wanting to explore the Dream Arc and you've been waiting for the right moment or wondering whether you should just do the self-study or spend the extra $75 and get the whole retreat, I just want to encourage you to join us for the retreat. You're going to receive so much more support and new dragony content, and you'll be there with us, and you'll be there with Richard and the grandmothers and Wolf and Shannon. And so if your intuition is feeling a tingle, I say take the leap. Okay, that's it from me.